You are going to suffer. And Trump and Elon Musk have decided that that's good for you and that you're just going to do it. Higher prices, layoffs, inflation, a recession, yet another day of triple digit stock market declines. Don't worry. If you're concerned, don't worry. These uber rich men have decided you must endure the pain for the greater good. Now, the greater good, of course, is their wealth and their power and their political ambitions and their priorities. Let's talk about what's happening. We are barely into Donald Trump's second term. And to say that the cracks are showing is an understatement. Trump's new wave of tariffs have started to send costs soaring. Everything from cars to food to construction materials are getting more expensive, all because Trump wants to wage economic war against China, Canada, Mexico, Denmark, right? I mean, we'll see how far this goes. But you were the one who is paying for it. Federal agencies are slashing jobs. This is part of Donald Trump's effort to gut the so-called deep state. The problem is that those layoffs ripple through the economy, meaning fewer people have money to go and buy stuff, meaning businesses that have nothing to do with the government have fewer customers and have to start laying people off, and economic contraction. GDP Q1 now expected to decline 2.8%. Meanwhile, Trump wants to slash corporate taxes again, which would explode the deficit, and they love to pretend it'll trickle down to workers. It never does, never has. And this is where Elon Musk comes in, worth over $200 billion at this point. He has also decided that the economy must suffer, and you are going to suffer, and he is on board. He's been cheerleading Trump's tariffs despite the fact that they will make everything more expensive. He's pushing the laying off of people all over the government through DOGE. He has pushed that there will be some necessary economic pain because in this world, recessions are a market correction, and it is time to correct. For Elon, that means scooping up companies on the cheap, negotiating nepotistic government contracts. But for you, it means job losses and it means higher prices. But he's decided it's worth it. He's decided what you are going to suffer through. And Trump and Musk have been selling this disaster as necessary. It's a reset. It's patriotism. We'll hear some examples of this later in the show. You were supposed to believe that your suffering is for the good of the country while they sit in their private jets and Air Force One watching from above. Now, things were fine under Biden. The economy wasn't perfect. There was still poverty. This is a country of 340 million people with issues to solve, but every major economic indicator was fine. The stock market did well. Unemployment was low. Job creation was high. Wage growth exceeded inflation. But now things are getting worse under Trump, and they're getting worse quickly. And they want you to believe simultaneously, this is for your own good. And if we can't convince you of that, it's Biden's fault. This is great for you, but if you don't like it, blame Biden. I hate to break it to you, especially if you're a Trump supporter who thinks this is there's a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. There is no long-term gain for you. These policies don't make America stronger. They make billionaires richer, and they make us geopolitically weaker and more humiliated. The economy doesn't correct itself in your favor. The economy corrects itself in their favor. And if you dare complain, you will be told by Trump and Elon and JP Mandel and whoever, you've got to tough it out because Trump's doing some really great stuff here. We just have no evidence of how great it is. This is the billionaire class deciding you will pay the price for their vision of America. They won't suffer the consequences. And let me tie this briefly into the deep state. You all know that I am not a believer in the deep state conspiracy theories in the sense that there isn't a shadowy cabal of people who are really the ones in charge. You know, when Vivek Ramaswamy was on this show, I said, Vivek, who are the people? I was like an owl. Who? And he struggled, visibly struggling. And he goes, David, It's people like Susan Rice. So what's more likely? What's more plausible? That there's a secret cabal we know nothing about, and the only person whose name we can come up with that's in charge is Susan Rice? Or is the so-called deep state actually a superficial state right in front of our eyes? It's the people who are obviously in charge. It's the billionaires on Trump's cabinet. It's Trump. It's Elon. It's the Peter Thiels and the hedge funds. And you don't need the deep state conspiracy theory because it's the billionaire class deciding that you're going to pay so that they can execute their vision. No conspiracy theory needed. They're telling us there will be some short-term pain. Not for them because they've got billions, but for you. Will the MAGAs come to recognize this? I don't know. I don't know. We are potentially a day or two away from reaching 3 million YouTube subscribers. Help us get there. Flattering to see these numbers. And remember that there are just a few days left to get signed copies of my book, The Echo Machine. The book will be out in 2 weeks and a day, I guess. Wait, no, 11, 12, 11, 25, 14. Yeah, 2 weeks and a day. And there's, I think, about a couple hundred signed copies left exclusively at Brookline Booksmith. Go to davidpakman.com/booksmith. Remember, you can order on Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Any format counts. We'll take a quick break and be right back. I have a book coming out. I've spent a long time working on this. I couldn't be more excited to share it with you. It is called The Echo Machine, and it answers a crucial question. How did American politics get so broken? And just as importantly, how do we fight back effectively before it's too late? Trump back in the White House, damage piling up, an administration filled with extremists and loyalists, attacks on democratic institutions, policies hurting working people. If you've felt like you're screaming into the void and watching democracy slip away, my book, The Echo Machine, will help you make sense of what's happening and also give you an idea of what we can do about it. Go to davidpakman.com/echo or find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, I'd like David Pakman's The Echo Machine from Beacon Press. Pre-orders make a huge difference. Please support the book at davidpakman.com/echo.